Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
And today we are reviewing that animated supernatural black comedy film, The Addams Family, that was made in 2000, or at least in 2019. Yeah. That's a bit of a mouthful, sorry guys.
Yes, it is a mouthful, yes. What he was trying to mumble over is a computer-animated supernatural black comedy.
I just said that.
Yeah, but you mumbled through it and stumbled over it and fell over and got lost somewhere, whatever. Now this is, and I don't.
Go on.
I don't go out of my way to see animated movies a lot. Over the years, I've seen things like Aladdin, Ice Age, whatever, and I've been really impressed with the animation. This movie falls in that same category. Okay? Yep. Now, it's been produced by a guy called Conrad Vernon, Gail Berman, Alex Schwartz, and Alison O'Brien. It was directed by Conrad Vernon and Greg Tiernan. Screenplay was by Matt Lieberman, but the story was written by Conrad Vernon, Matt Lieberman, and Erica Rivenosia, I think is the right pronunciation.
Based on the characters from Charles Addams'
original cartoon strip way back when. Yeah. Now, this is the part that gets me confused.
What's that?
The budget was $24 million. Okay. The box office was $203 million. But didn't have great reviews. And I know why.
What is the
because the people reviewing it thought it was an adult show, not a kids show.
Oh gosh!
Here we go again. Because in the reviews later on, I normally speak about it at the end. The kids rated it really high, and the adults rated it lower than the adults.
Oh, brother. Where do these people get their minds from?
Get your reference points right, guys, when you're reviewing a movie. If it's a kiddies movie, treat it as a kiddies movie. Does it meet all the criteria? And does it hit all the checklist points? It does.
It is a family film, guys, technically, not a horror film.
It's a family film, but aimed at kids. It's a funny movie.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, hence the
anyway,
black
just so you guys know, I've looked at like several different versions of Addams Family in the past, and I thought maybe we might do one that comes right close to an upcoming not TV series.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's this month they released a sequel to this one. And I thought maybe we might, as a bit of a celebration, we might review this one as a bit of a contribute.
To augment the other one, yes.
Yes.
Okay, right. The point is, as a sequel is being released this month. Yeah, there you go. Right, okay.
Yeah.
And in honour of it being released this month, a long time coming, I believe, we're reviewing this movie.
Yeah.
Now... Can I go through my usual bits now?
Yep.
Okay, right. Now, I'm not going to go through too much. I'm going to hit all the main people. There's a lot of little bit voices in there and stuff by different people and stuff. I can't go through everybody because there's a lot of people involved. But, however, Oscar Isaac does the voice of Gomez Addams. He's obviously... Look, I'm not going to go through who they are because most people know who the Addams family are. But briefly, he's Dad. Charlie Theron... plays Morticia, or does the voice of Morticia Addams. She's Mum. Chloe Grace Moretz plays Wednesday Addams, the eldest child. Finn Wolfhard plays Pugsley Addams. What does Pugsley Addams' voice? He's the younger brother. Nick Kroll. I know Nick Kroll's name from somewhere. I just can't place it. He plays Uncle Fester. That's Gomez's brother, I believe. Snoop Dogg plays the voice of Cousin Nit. Bette Midler does Grandma Adams' voice. Grandma Adams is obviously Gomez's mum. Alison Janey plays Margot Needler. She's the antagonist in the show. Now, I won't go too many more, but I'll mention one person. Conrad Vernon, the producer-director guy, and also guy who wrote the story. He does the voice of Lurch.
Cool.
Now, wait a minute. not finished. Lurch, he's their butler. He also plays the priest. He plays the priest at the beginning of it, who's marrying Morticia and Gomez. He plays one of the relatives, does a voice for an unnamed relative. He does the spirit of the house, get up, that sort of stuff. And he plays one of the other cousins or uncles or aunts called Dr. Flambe, a demon-like relative.
That's interesting. I mean, in this movie, they have a spirit lurking around the house, unlike in the other movies. Yeah. Even though, I remember a joke in the TV series where Gomez tells Morticia that when they first moved there, they thought the place was haunted, but they said no. They just shrugged it off as, oh, we can't have everything.
Yeah. I will mention one other. Martin Short does the voice of Grandpa Frump, who is he's talking through a crystal ball at a seance. I think Grandma Frump is Catherine O'Hara. That name rings a bell too somewhere. She's Morticia's late mother, who she's having. She's having a chit chat, like a afternoon tea with her dead mum and dad. Yeah, I won't go for anybody else. But there's a lot more other people. There's some interesting people there.
Yeah, I know. Oscar Isaac. He was he played Poe in the new version of new Star Wars movies.
Do you want that face and name? Yeah.
Yeah, although he's my least favourite person in the world.
I like him. He's not bad. He's a hero type. And good looking, so he's eye candy for the girls.
Eye candy, but he's useless.
Okay. You want to tell the story?
Yes, I will. So it begins with Morticia Addams getting ready for her upcoming marriage to Gomez Addams. So she is in a small town, and the townspeople raid their wedding while they're getting married and all that stuff, and luckily enough, the Addams family are prepared for this venture.
They've been driven out of better place than this.
Yeah. So Morticia and Gomez, they flee to America, and in order to find a new home for themselves, and of course, Morticia wishes to find a real home for her family and her kids when she has them. They haven't had them yet, just so you know.
Now, it's quite funny. Now, I'm not knocking anybody who lives in New Jersey. However,
it's in New Jersey.
No, but they do a comment here. They wanted to go to a place that no one would ever get caught dead in. New Jersey. Now, I'm being an Australian. I don't know if it's a bad area, an industrial area, or a good area. I got no idea. But it seems to pop up periodically. It's not a good area to live in. I got no idea why.
I thought it was funny though.
Yeah, you think they're like the Gobi Desert or somewhere or other, but no, New Jersey. You know.
So anyway, they arrive there and they knock over Lurch, who was an escape asylum patient.
He swore around his straitjacket.
Yeah.
As one would.
Yeah, and of course they hire him right there, or not really hire him. I mean, they
take him on as their butler straight away.
Yeah, and they head towards the asylum that is pretty much the Addams family home.
An abandoned building which hasn't been lived in for a couple of years, however.
And they start remarking on its appearance. It's creepy, it's kooky, it's mysterious, spooky. And and when Lurch is at the organ, right?
Yeah, he's an organ, yeah.
He starts playing numerous organ songs, but then he comes to the Addams Family famous song we all familiar with.
Thing keeps saying, no, you put your thumbs down, no.
Thumbs down.
And then Lurch starts playing a couple of notes, and Thing says, yeah, more, a bit faster. And he and then comes the theme tune. Yeah.
And then we flash forward in the credits where we see photos of the Addams family, where of course Wednesday is the oldest, so she gets born, and then years later they have Pugsley, and a few more 13 years later they're still living at the the asylum.
There's no place like home.
That's now converted into their home.
Very nice too. Mm-hmm. Very similar to the one in the TV program.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Anyway, so next morning, Wednesday wakes up to something weird outside her house. a weird bell noise. She approaches the gate, which is a live gate, I should mention.
Oh, well, it's a live gate. Well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's sort of like jaws.
Yeah.
They open up.
It'll open up like a mouth to let you in and out. Yes.
Yeah. There's a girl outside the mansion that's covered. The mansion is covered in mist or something
All
from
the
the
time,
fog,
it's a big mist around it.
hinting that there's been a Maya or
No,
fog.
let's just get on with it.
Anyway, Parker doesn't. I mean, that's the name of the girl. Parker,
Yeah, little girl. She's a cute little thing.
And
Needler, yeah.
she heads off back down to the town below. There's a town in this, so you know. And anyway, Wednesday is curious about the world, outside her.
Because Uncle Fester comes to visit occasionally.
Yeah.
He's coming from outside.
Yeah, and Wednesday has been living inside her little home for so many years. It's like, well, pretty much the only thing she knows, and she wants to know what's outside.
She wants to be adventurous and go to parts unknown.
Yeah.
Wreak havoc. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you.
Something like that. Anyway, eventually, the fog mist, whatever, lifts, and we soon see a town below, and eventually the Addams family decide to go explore the place. And just so you guys know, this is the antagonist or whatever her name is.
Margot.
Margot. She's the she runs a show, one of those Fox Network shows.
Something like a reality TV show.
Yeah, like House and Gardens. Only it's called House and Art and Gardens. In short, HAG.
Yeah, HAG. Yeah. And she's building
another funny joke.
Yeah, she's building a town up called Assimilation, and everybody has to be the same, and she's molding everybody to be the
perfect community.
A bit like the Stepford Wives and different things, that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah, the perfect community to possibly get people wanting to buy a house. In other words, that's what she's planning on doing, trying to find people to buy these properties.
Yeah, she had all the money invested in this town, and she wanted to obviously sell them to these people who'd be watching her TV show and whatever.
Yeah, and when she saw the Addams family house on the hills, she freaked out.
I'll be ruined.
Yeah, the Addams family go into the town and they start mingling, or not really mingling, try to mingle,
yes.
But unfortunately they kind of stick out like sore thumbs, so to speak.
Well, they don't look like everybody else, do they?
Yeah.
No. And they took Kitty down there for a walk too.
Meow. Yeah, exactly. A very big lion.
Big pussy cat.
Just like in the TV series, or in all of them, anyway.
Well, yes.
Anyway, they head down there. They meet. They even hear a bunch of kids singing. A song about what's so great about being yourself but being like everyone else.
Yeah, and then Uncle Fester does his
owning.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won't go into it. We're not going to sing it.
Yeah. It was very funny, and he ended up flashing them with bats.
Oh, yeah, open up his jacket, that long coat he wears, all his bats fly out and scares everybody to death almost. Yeah.
And Margot approaches them and says that she's glad she would like to redecorate their house, if they will.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway, just, at the same time while this is happening, Gomez is organising a sort of a special thing with Pugsley. Pugsley is gay. What's it called?
Okay. Pugsley is coming of age.
Yes.
And he has to go through a rite of passage, and he has to perform a sword dance called the mazurka.
Yeah, a special dance to protect your family.
Yes, and the thing is, Pugsley has not been practicing the mazurka.
Yeah.
And when he does do it, he keeps making mistakes. He's clumsy. Because he's not into swords, he's into demolition, isn't he?
Yeah, bombs and little detonators
stuff.
And stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway, he's not prepared, so Gomez and Fester try to teach him how to handle the sword and do what for the mazurka.
Yeah. And
he keeps fungling it up.
Poor little fellow.
Anyway, back to the story. So eventually, Wednesday makes the acquaintance of Parker, and they talk and trade stories about what the outside world's like. and all that's, and what Wednesday's life is like.
Yeah, and Parker mentions about school and
Yeah,
everybody else.
and then Wednesday
what happens at school.
And Wednesday ponders this and asks her parents, "Could I go to public school to socialise more?" And they were cool with it.
Well, Morticia wasn't overly happy, but Gomez thought it would be a good thing.
Yeah, so
not
they
a good daddy.
And he hopes to maybe even get to know the community too.
Exactly.
Anyway, so Wednesday, the next day, goes to community school, and when she enters the room, enters the hallways. She says, now I understand. This is a children's prison."
Yes.
Yeah, and Parker introduces her friends and introduces her evil bully girl,
Which is
a nasty piece.
Yeah. It's always got one.
Yeah. I think her name was Beverly, I think.
Bethany.
Bethany, sorry.
Oh, whatever, yeah, something wrong.
Anyway, during a classroom dissection of a frog, Wednesday brings him to life.
Yeah,
and
just like
attacks,
with Frankenstein.
And attacks the girl.
Not only does she bring her own dead frog to life, she brings all the dead frogs in the room to life, and they attack Bethany.
Yeah.
Not bad, hey?
And Parker and Wednesday decide to hang out at the mall, and later that night, Tisha is worried that her daughter is late home, but eventually she comes home wearing a pink unicorn pin in her hair.
And she's, oh good, a horse with a spear through its head.
Yeah.
No, it was a unicorn. Hello.
And Wednesday remarks, Parker says it brings out my smile. And of course, Morticia says, "You don't have a smile." And of course, Wednesday says, "Oh, there are so many things you don't know about me." Type of that.
The actually the girl doing that voice is just so cool. That was her name. Who's McLiggett's? Whatever her name is. Chloe. She does a great Wednesday voice.
Yeah.
Really deadpan, sinister, very very well measured speaking.
Yeah.
Very intimidating in its own little way.
Yeah, Morticia feels like she and Wednesday are starting to drift apart, so she arranges a private séance between them two to have some social time together.
Yeah, they'll go have word to Morticia's dead mum and dad, Martin Short, the
Of
other
course,
lady. Yeah.
Wednesday's cool with this, but later the next day, she starts hanging out with Parker a little bit more.
And doesn't show up for the séance.
Yeah, they even trade, outfits.
Clothes, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah,
Parker starts dressing as a punk gothic.
And got half a hair shaved off and everything.
Yeah,
really
I love
good.
it.
Yeah.
I love that look she had in the end.
Yeah,
It looked cool.
and Wednesday's got this pretty little pinky outfit on. It's very nice.
And she sings a little bit of the "Being Yourself" song to her mum, which made her freak out. And of course, she realizes that putting Wednesday into school was a big mistake.
Exactly.
And she wants to take her out of that school and put her back into just homeschool again.
Yes.
But Wednesday's not having this, so she runs away.
Yes, she can stay at Parker's house.
Yeah. Anyway, the Mazurka is only
A day away.
Yeah. And Pugsley remains blissfully can't even do it right.
No, he's useless. He hasn't got 2 left feet, he's got 3 left feet. It's not really good. No.
Not really good at all. And Gomez is worried that he's going to make a public fool of himself. Well, not public fool of himself, but
a family full of himself.
Yeah. And anyway, the family's feeling disjointed and and a little bit disheartened. Yeah. Anyway, the next day, Wednesday and Parker discover something about Parker's mum. She somehow has planted, cameras in all the neighbors' houses.
Yeah, CCTV, and she spies on everybody.
She also made fake social media accounts to say many false rumours
Oh, no,
about the town.
I don't know if she put any fake ones. He just got in there and said, "Hey, did you hear about this and the other?"
Yeah.
And she put it to at the gossip people there who spread the rumours.
Yeah, on social media. So
Yeah.
she sends rumours, and this gets around and causes a bit of upset, and makes out the Addams family are monsters, and even though they're not completely monsters and all that stuff. Anyway, Margot finds out about this and locks the two girls inside her the attic.
However,
I'm not sure.
It locks them away in a room. However,
the rest of the Addams family's extended family, I think it was.
yeah, well, uncles and aunts and everybody. Yeah.
Soon arrive in the town, and some of Margot's assistants think this is an invasion or something.
Yeah, well, what sort of? It's a family reunion sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Everybody does that sometime, rather.
They're here for the Mazurka for Pugsley, so they're wandering the streets trying to find, get to the Addams family home.
And probably find some accommodation.
Yeah. Eventually, Margot starts setting up a bit of a riot with the townsfolk.
Right.
Because only just the very same day the Mazurka's happening, she has to make another special
TV special highlighting her town, her perfect town.
Yeah.
Did not want creepy crawly people hanging around.
Yeah, so if they don't destroy the Addams family home, then there's no chance...
And drive the Addams family out.
Yes, then there's no chance of those houses ever going to be sold.
No, what a bummer.
Yeah.
Real estate's a dirty business.
Yeah, Wednesday gets wind of this, and she, using Parker's hairpin, was able to pick the lock and get them both out of there.
She learnt that in something around a 101, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
Meanwhile, at the Mazurka, things are not going so well. Pugsley is making a really big fool of himself, as we predicted.
Yeah.
And
he fails miserably.
Eventually, Margot arrives and starts crashing the house.
Yeah, it's got some of those big catapult type things. We put a big rock into it and when you're sieging a castle, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So they use that to try to knock the house down. And they're doing a very good job of it.
Yeah, so when Gomez tells Pugsley to do what he does best.
It's how he got all his explosives out and started protecting the Addams family.
Yeah, blowing up
his
the
family and his cousins, his uncle, because aunts, everybody else.
Blowing up the boulders as much as he can and trying to lead the family out of our harm's way.
Yeah.
But fortunately, he runs out of ammo when they get trapped, and Lurch tries to protect them, shield them from danger.
Yeah, he's a strong fellow.
Yeah. Eventually, Wednesday appears with a special reanimated tree that...
Ichabod. It's not special reanimated. It's Ichabod the tree.
Ichabod the tree.
Everyone's got a magic tree, haven't they? Oh, okay.
Anyway, he saves the family, and they quickly make their getaway. And
they're all outside on the lawn.
And using one of the last little detonators he has in his possession, and throws it to Pugsley, and Pugsley blows up the catapult.
Yes.
And,
That's all. And then all the Addams family people standing on the lawn, and then the village people
realizing that these people are families and they don't.
But who cares what the village people think anyway?
Funny, very funny. Who
listens to village people? No.
Anyway, so the town is realizing the biggest error that they just caused.
They realise these people just a normal family just like them, just a bit strange.
Yeah, and Margot thinks not to think soft on them, and all that stuff. She's
going off her nuts, isn't she?
Yeah, and Morticia slowly approaches Margot and says, "Be careful what you wish for, because my family will not run away again." Meaning she's determined not to get her family run out of town.
Yeah, and then doesn't Parker to tell the village people about Margot's camera setup?
Yeah, actually, Wednesday does.
And
tells
Parker.
And tells certain bits they noticed in the footage.
Yeah, like you sit in your toilet backwards and you put your underwear in the freezer and stuff. How the hell do you know this? Because Mum's got cameras all through your house.
Yeah, and Margot blows her top, telling them that they're going to go down to the town, do the video, and and all that stuff.
In essence, Margot shows her true colours to be a real bitch.
Yeah, and Parker reveals it on live on social media.
Yes,
what
she's
she's
streaming
like.
a live stream of Mother going off and
Chops.
saying what she really thought. And it's
And
destroyed a television program.
Yeah,
and
somehow her boss or agent contacts telling her that she's going to be
your
fired.
show's cancelled. We don't want you anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Which certainly made her bankrupt.
Yeah, and she worries now that she's gonna all these houses she has to sell them, and there's no chance of that if that's gonna happen. But eventually,
However,
Fester approaches her and tells her that he's got family he can offload onto those houses, and in that way she won't go broke or bankrupt.
An unholy alliance between Margot,
And
the
Fester.
real estate cretin, and Uncle Fester, the other cretin.
Yeah. Now that some of the townspeople realise that their era, they decide to help the Addams family to repair their old broken down home.
Yes, and they made it so pretty and
yeah.
lovely.
Anyway,
Not anything like what they were used to.
Anyway, they eventually the rest of the Addams family in the town, they start getting to know the townspeople, and they start developing a bit of a good vibe here.
Everyone's a bit different. I'm a bit strange.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
Sarah actually just
so
passing.
things are good.
Yeah.
So the Mazurka later on, the Mazurka goes good, and Pugsley is made an official.
He's passed his.
He's passed his
he's
Mazurka.
He's thingy-wingy. He's Mazurka.
For being himself and being
his rite of
him.
passage into becoming a man or whatever. Yeah.
Wednesday, we see her sport a nice smile, that she's really proud of her brother, even though at times she likes torturing him and stuff.
Yes,
we come a long.
He is family.
We come a long way from the little Wednesday we've seen in black and white.
She come of age too, didn't she?
In this movie, in the past few years, Wednesday has changed over the years. That's because the directors had different approaches to her growth. Anyway, the spirit to the house returns and makes the house back to its normal state.
Oh, grey and grungy again. Yeah, nice.
And
no place like home.
And it takes a bit of a selfie of the family in their traditional state.
As the TV program around.
And then we have a bit of a sort of a tribute to the old black and white intro in this very scene where they click their fingers, and we see, and it's shot by shot look similar
almost
to,
like the TV program.
Yeah. The end.
Hey. Now I normally talk about production notes and different things, but I mean, this is a cartoon. Okay, it's animated, if you will.
And this was last minute, so I didn't have bothered to put together any trivia for you guys tonight. Sorry, guys.
There's bits of trivia and stuff in here, but not.
It was
lots.
last minute, and I was. And it was a very rainy day today, and
we had thunderstorms and stuff here, and so we had to turn our computer off. We don't have any PSUs here and stuff, so we were unplugged for a few hours.
And I didn't have time for writing.
Well, you scribble a lot. I don't know about writing. It looks like a chicken walked over a page of dirty feet.
Anyway.
I type mine.
So those reviews that you mentioned,
I will in a minute.
I'd like to.
Now, what I was going to say, you keep talking over me.
Okay.
And it's not you think it's your podcast. I thought it was our podcast.
That'd be rude.
You do it to me all the time. Okay, now, production. I normally talk about production, but being animated, I'm not saying there's nothing special about it. They did a really good job. The animators, it's like we did the other one with The Corpse Bride the other day. It's good. There's good animators out there. And there's still a place for animators in this world today. And it'd be really a sad day if they decide not to do any animated movies. Because this is good. They bring the characters to life in a real two-dimensional world. And so you've got to take your hat off to them. I won't go too much because it's just normal stuff for it.
Yeah. Usual. Animation techniques.
Ordinary stuff. Yeah, they didn't do puppetry, stop frame, or stop motion like they did on the other ones. They're just ordinary animation. But once they're ordinary, it's still a lot of work involved. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Now I will get onto it. A few things reception-wise I spoke about before. There is not a lot of notes on the critical reception. However, like I said before, Rotten Tomatoes gave it about 44% approval rating. It says, the Addams Family starry voice cast and eye-catching animation aren't enough to outweigh its saccharine handling of delightfully dark source material. I don't know. Metacritic it doesn't say anything. It just had mixed and average reviews. Other things said, a couple of other things said, the same sort of ratings. But Post-Track reported that surveyed children and parents gave it 4 and 3 out of 5 stars respectively, which means the kids liked it more than the adults, which makes me think, if adults are reviewing a movie which is more targeted at a kid audience, are they actually missing the point when they're doing their review? Because this thing blitzed at the box office, like I said before, and made it for $24 million, and it came in for box office, budget of $24 million, box office at $203 million. See, I would say that's a really successful movie.
I agree.
Despite of what the critics said, and the voting said, and everything else. I mean, hello?
I think that it also helped that they did, on YouTube, they did some special MGM tutorials based around the Addams Family, here and there. And there's some really interesting ones, like how to make a chocolate cappuccino, and there's one where you could make your own, gelatin, gummies if you want, gummy snacks.
I think you mean like Halloween type stuff.
Yeah, some really good stuff, like if you want to go full out on Halloween.
Yeah, and so that might have helped a bit. I don't know, but the point remains is that some of these reviewers or people who vote on movies have got no idea. And if it's targeted for kids, kids aren't going to go online and do a vote.
No, true. That's true. They don't do that.
No.
And I don't think my niece and nephew would probably understand how
well,
that works.
my niece and nephew, little girl's 6 and little man's 4, they would probably like this. I can't imagine going on to Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic and voting.
Me neither.
No. So it's just the case that the critics and the people who vote on it don't necessarily get it right. And it gets back to what I said probably dozens of times over the past year and a half, that if you think it's a good movie, it sounds okay, go and see it, or hire a copy or buy a copy and make your own mind up. Because chances are, if the overview, synopsis, whatever, or the newspaper, the trailer you see on TV or at the theatre, it's interesting.
Yeah,
it might be your sort of movie.
If you're going to be a movie critic, I often think if you're going to review a cartoon, channel your childhood
find your
feelings.
inner child.
Yeah.
I act like a 5-year-old half the time, especially when the grandkids are around. I love it.
I always think it's always good to channel that side to your brain if you can. And take enjoyment out of it, not take the piss out of it.
The Addams Family, even if you look at the Addams Family Values with Raul Julia and Angelica Houston. Now, they weren't that dark, were they? They weren't dark.
Not really.
They were good family movies. They were just fun. Yes, a little bit sinister and stuff. That's the Addams Family, but they were generally fun movies. How dark do these people on Rotten Tomatoes stuff want it to go when the original source, the TV program and the cartoon in the newspaper that Charles Addams actually developed, how dark was it originally?
Good point.
So you think about it, say, well, it's supposed to be a family, it's supposed to be funny, and that's what it is, and that's what this is, that's what all the other news have been, that's what the TV show was, and I presume the sequel's going to be just the same.
Oh, that reminds me. Anyway, could we go to that review you mentioned about how they mistook this being more like for the children audience than...
I just did. Post-Track reported and surveyed the children. The children gave the higher rating.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they would...
Because it was a children's movie. I mentioned the other thing was just say, like the last one we did, I mean, I hate SpongeBob SquarePants, but kids love it. if kids say, "Do you like SpongeBob?" Yeah, really. Yeah, I think he's great. I think it's really mind-numbing. As a grandparent and also a parent years ago, I would have had trouble sitting through SpongeBob SquarePants, and so yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily bag it. I'd say, yeah, it's a good kids show. And yeah, if I was reviewing it then, I would say, yeah, it's a good kids thing. It's entertaining. It's made for their mentality and their maturity, not an adult maturity. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems weird that some people would do that.
So this sort of thing here, whether it's a animated or it's a kids movie, I take Milo and Otis. Okay. And some of you younger people might not have known Milo and Otis. It was it's a real live movie done with animals only in it. It's based around a little dog and a little cat. A little pug dog and a little ginger cat. Okay, now they had voiceovers for them. Mm-hmm. I think Dudley Moore played the cat, was it?
Yeah, both. Actually, I think they both. He did.
Oh no, he didn't.
He was the narrator. He
narrated and did both voices. That's right. Yeah. Now the point is, it was definitely a kids' movie, and the person sitting next to me here used to love watching Milo and Otis a million times, and I had to sit through it at least 500,000 times, and I enjoyed it the first, say, 100 or 200 times, and it got a bit boring after all because I knew what the dog was going to say next, and woof, but it was a kids' movie. Now, it is what it is, okay? If you're going to watch it, make a movie for children, it's obviously targeting a child's audience there and maturity. You're going to do something that's really dark and sinister and horrible like a slasher movie, I'm sure those kiddies will not be watching it.
But there was a few a little bit of dark, like they do a few Easter eggs here and there in this production where they mention Sleepaway Camp, which is a very horror related film.
That's right.
And they mentioned, and there was when Wednesday came in with that red balloon in one of the scenes, Patricia Addams mentioned usually there's a killer clown behind one of these things. I gotta admit though, whenever I look at a red balloon now, I always think of Stephen King's It now.
They all float down here. Yeah, whatever.
Well, that's what I think. It's a ongoing thing, and I think it's going to be going until it eventually dies away.
Hello, kiddies. No. Point. Horses for courses. You make kids movies for kids, you make adults movies for adults. Come on, guys, when you vote on it, do a critique, whatever, allow for the fact it's aimed at a particular target audience. So the reviewers, the voters, whatever, are wrong in this one.
They should just let children vote on it instead of adults.
But Rotten Tomatoes rely on people going on their site and voting on it.
True.
And the mums and dads aren't going on there to vote. It's just ordinary people, young teenagers, young adults going there. Oh, I didn't like it. I thought it was going to be darker than that. Well, that's the only voting you're going to get.
Yeah.
Actually, I noticed one thing. You only had Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, Cinema Score, and Post-Rate. There's none of your newspaper reviews here at all online. There's nothing from the New York Times and different other places. And
another interesting thing, guys, is that I'm impressed on how Wednesday's character has been developing over the years. Like, at one point way before they begin her character, she was just your ordinary little girl who likes to...
In a TV show?
Yeah, in the TV show.
She was adorable.
She was adorable. She would often play with stuff here and there.
I remember her Mary Antoinette doll. Didn't have a head. So
and
cute.
when they did the newer movies like the Addams Family Values and the other stuff...
Christina Ricci. She nailed it.
Yeah. She was always... she and her brother always, fight it out. Well, not fight it out. They just did pranks on each other. And after that one, they did another TV series after that one where Wednesday was more of the torturer on her brother her brother accepted the the torture and the pain from her older sister.
Sadomasochism. Yeah.
And I guess we've come a long way. I mean, from a sweet little girl to Wednesday.
Homicidal maniac.
Yeah, Wednesday being the homicidal maniac to her younger brother.
Admit, I said, I'm not knocking.
I don't know what they're going to do for the Tim Burton TV series for Wednesday Addams yet. I don't know if they're going to continue that
honestly,
rhythm.
if they do a TV series, they're going to be animated or live.
It's live.
Live people, human
they're
beings.
They're going to use living people, and I think
some animation.
And I think Catherine Zeta-Jones is playing Morticia.
That'd be interesting.
And I don't know who's playing Gomez. I don't know the girl who's going to be playing Wednesday, and I just hope she pulls it off.
If she does a Christina Ricci, and a Christina, I don't know where Christina got the idea from, but she came over as cute and creepy at the same time, didn't she? She's so good.
They also made a musical where Wednesday came out of came out of her shell a bit, where it makes out she wanted to be much more than just being another gothic girl in the background. She wanted to be do more normal things with other people, you know.
Go to the mall, that stuff. Yeah. Whatever.
And all the time, Gomez and Morticia are worried that she's turning too much to the light instead of enjoying the darkness.
Exactly. Oh, before I forget, if you want to get a copy of it, it's available through eBay and Amazon. You can get it.
I think that's probably where more and more people get their idea from. That Wednesday's character, she's a more developed character, unlike her family, who remains as they are throughout.
Well, see, in some shows, some characters have to stay the same. Gomez is always going to be Gomez. Mum, Morticia, is going to be always Morticia, but the kids are growing up. They're going to change a little bit. And honestly, it has to happen. You look at MASH, the TV series MASH.
Okay.
Not the movie.
I know who you're referring to.
But got the movie and the TV series of Alan Alda and all the other guys. Most of those people, well, I'll say half of them, did not change. They were consistent. Especially Frank Burns. Frank Burns was not allowed to change. He had to be this weird guy who wasn't going to change. Had strange values, trying to be holier than thou, everything else, but still an idiot and playing around with hot lips, having an affair. Where all the other people, all the main stars, Alan Alda and these offsiders, were allowed to develop a bit. But some of the other people didn't develop. They had to stay the same to keep that linchpin there, so they had something to bounce off, had something recognisable to keep it samey while it was still developing.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, guys. The Addams Family does get a little bit of character development here and there, but Wednesday got the most character development.
Yes, she's changing. She's a young teenage girl growing up and wanting to.
I hope when they did the Tim Burton Wednesday TV series that there'll be a little bit of character development with her in.
Oh, I hope
series.
so. I mean, I'd like to see her go to the mall and make a movie about it. It's going to the shopping mall or something. Oh, it's been done.
But I would like to see that. I mean, I can't wait to see her development. I watched a web series a while back called An Adult Wednesday Addams, where she rents an apartment with a few roommates, gets a new employed in a job in a creepy fashion.
Yeah, whatever.
And
I haven't seen it.
And does a lot of creepy stuff along the way, which is kind of fun. I really love it.
Yeah, the girl did a good job at that. Yeah,
I agree. I almost wish that she continued with the web series, to be honest. But
it's most run out of ideas too, which is a bit of a problem. If anything, you got so many ideas, and if you start going stale, do you keep it going, or you just drop off and just finish it off and let it finish on a high? How's that? Yeah.
True. Anyway, I do like that one. It's really clever and awesome. Fun. Anyway, I really... should we rate this movie now?
Now, again, I, as I've said many times before, but for you new listeners, I always vote stuff within their own genres. I don't hold this up against, say, Alien or something rather, a different type of movie. But as far as animated movies go, We did the Corpse Bride last one, and that was great. I gave it the 10 because there's so much stop motion work, and it looks, the two-dimensional stuff looks three-dimensional almost. It was great. Now, this is more of your standard animation, what I can see. Well done. Storyline's good. Very enjoyable. I'm going to give it 9.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 9.5 too.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It's fun. I mean, kids, and I don't mean little 5-year-olds, but your kids can sit down to appreciate watching a movie. You maybe say 9, 10, whatever. Would enjoy this. It's fun. Yeah,
I certainly like it.
But Mum and Dad can watch it.
I certainly like it that Parker changed from an ordinary casual girl to
became a punk rocker sort of thing.
I thought she was cool. I was hoping that in this the second movie that she make another appearance, but I don't think it's going to happen. I would have loved it. But
never mind.
Anyway, I think, but again, this one deals with when a little bit more character development with Wednesday.
There you go.
Like, she starts questioning why she's so different from her family. Like, what?
A bit like Marilyn Munster. She was a bit different, wasn't she?
Quite a little bit.
Aha. And better looking too. And everyone thought she was ugly.
That's another thing I've been wondering, Mike. Which came first, the Addams Family or Monsters?
Oh, I'd have to check out the dates. I think they came out about the same time, but I couldn't tell you exactly which one came first. So,
although I think that Addams Family had longer seasons.
Possibly, but the roots of the Addams Family had been in the newspaper cartoons years before. So Addams Family were known. So the Munsters might have come on, and then Thumbs thought, hey, why don't we do the Addams Family? Yeah,
it would have been cool if they could combine both these types of characters and make it into a very big movie, where introduce the Addams Family with the Monsters as a bit of a. I just keep thinking that would be an awesome
a bit of a fusion of the two movies. Yeah. The Monsters move in next to the Beverly Hillbillies, and the Addams Family come and visit them, something rather.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
It's all about the same time, so it would have been funny. Yeah.
It would be interesting.
But all the neighbours would have moved out.
But it would be interesting. The Addams Family meeting the Munsters, or the Munsters meeting them, and we get a little bit of. It could be an interesting backstory or a bit of an interesting story there.
They might have some dead relatives they have in common.
Maybe. Or at least Lurch, who may have a cousin that's Herman Monster.
Well, see, Lurch was supposed to be something like that, I believe. I mean, he was abandoned, but so was Frankenstein.
True.
You see? He walked around like Frankenstein. Well, he didn't say much, did he? Frankenstein didn't talk either. So he was maybe a modern version of Frankenstein thrown in there. Hence the looks, the makeup, whatever, and the size and the way he walked around. And so you think, okay, modern day Frankenstein. He's abandoned by his father, parents, whatever. Well, you never know. Hey.
True.
And then, I must admit, though, Ted Cassidy, who played the original Lurch in the TV program, I liked him. He just had something about him.
He does something there.
I think he's a football player or something, or originally, or I can't remember, or a basketball player, or he's into some sort of sport.
I did like Herman Monster when his portrayal of it.
Fred Gwynn. Oh, gee, he's funny. Actually, he showed up in Pet Sematary a couple of years later as an old guy talking to somebody about the main guy about the Pet Cemetery, and I forgot how tall Fred Gwynn really is.
You mean he's really
you know how tall? Is Herman Munster walking around, he's really tall and everything. He had platform shoes on to make him that little bit extra tall. But the platforms weren't all that tall. They might have been 3 inches or something or other.
I would have thought it was...
He's a very tall man.
I would have thought that he was... that it was all platforms that made him big.
He had an extra... He had platform shoes on him and made him 3 or 4 inches taller. But it's over 6 foot tall, and he's tall and thin. And I remember seeing him in Car 54. Where Are You?
I love that.
And that was before the.
I think it was.
Did you see it? Did you?
No. I was thinking about that movie called Monsters Go Home.
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah.
And I liked it when one scene where he says, "Car 54, where are you?"
Oh, yes. Oh, I forgot,
I
yeah.
love that. It was so funny.
And he used to be that. He used to be one of the guys riding the patrol car. And he was tall then. You sit in the patrol car, his head's almost hitting the roof. Yeah, he's a very tall man, yeah. But he did make a funny Frankenstein, Fred Gwynne. He's probably been dead for years now. But he was a funny man, he was.
I
Anyway.
do wonder, though, did any of were the studios upset when the Munsters created their own version of the...
Look, I don't think so. Look, the point is, it's a different story. Look, it got a similar theme, a weird family.
Yeah, a weird family with a weird home.
Well, yeah, but, look at the Brady Bunch. They're a weird family and a weird home. Yeah, come on, what do you want? Yeah. Believe it, the Beaver. He was a weird little kid, Jerry Matthews, I think
But you know what I mean? That both...
Dennis the Menace? Weird little kid.
Shut up. Anyway, the Addams Family and the Munsters, they do have a lot of similar things in common. I'm amazed that they didn't get annoyed that when each episode had introduced something. You'd have to go and
check who actually made it. Did they actually come out of the same TV studio? You look at it, you got them, the Munsters, you had the Addams Family, you had I Dream of Jeannie, and you had all these little shows coming at the same time. They could have be coming out of the same resource pool.
Yeah.
Let's make another one. And because the more they make, the more money they make.
I remember somewhere I read that the original TV series, when they did that, the actual set they did for the Addams Family home is actually pink and red colours.
Really?
Yeah, like they used those shades to, I guess, to help the make the footage look a little bit more better to spot, make it look more darker or lighter, depending on.
I'd have to have a look at that. Okay. Oh no, you mean the TV series?
Yeah, the actual
the house
sets.
itself. Yeah, I know what. I think it was filmed in black and white.
Yeah, no, they were.
No, yeah, maybe they do the color contrast.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
I think I mentioned a couple of times when it comes to black and white, you have to be very careful about what colours you use.
Yeah, if they're too similar in shades, even it might be red and green or something rather, they might just blur into each other. Yeah, interesting point.
It is an interesting point.
But actually, I heard years ago when they used to do live shows, like news broadcasts and variety shows, the presenters and stuff weren't allowed to wear white shirts.
Oh.
Because the glare of the lights would flare them up and affect the cameras. So they had to wear an off-white shirt, like a pale yellow or a pale blue or something.
Yeah, I used to think that they were really wearing white. I mean, but I guess I was wrong, obviously.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what they're wearing. Morticia would have liked... would probably had a black dress on, or it could have been dark blue or
dark
purple.
Brown.
Don't know. It just looked black. Yeah, but I presume it was black, obviously, for her role, because they would use the same costumes for promo shots.
I wonder
and stuff,
what Lily Monsters was in reality.
Well, she might have had. Look, that she was wearing a shroud most of the time. That could have been pale blue, pale yellow, pale anything, pale green. Who knows?
Or pale purple.
Or it could have just been a silky colour with some embroidery on it. I don't know. But the point is, you got to capture like you said before, you got to capture it right, and if some colours aren't going to work, so they might look horrible in colour, but in black and white it comes a lot better. That's why if you have a movie which is black and white and they colour it sometimes, they've got to be careful also how they do the colour treatment, because they weren't made to be in colour. Some movies work well, some don't.
Anyway, it was just lucky that the studio knew what they wanted to do.
Oh, yeah. Anyway,
that's about it, guys. So feel free to watch it and let us know what you think in the comments, what you think about it.
Do not be afraid to let the kiddies watch this one. It's fun. It's not sinister. It's a good fun... we talked about, I think it was Corpse Bride the other day, is that it's good horror with training wheels for teenagers to get into horror.
No, that wasn't it. That was scary stories.
Scary stories. Sorry. Scary stories. And that was horror with training wheels. So to help. No, this is one level down from there. It's like horror on a tricycle. So for little kids.
Yeah, but it doesn't
So it's fun, but it's not scary.
It doesn't deal with gore, death, or
No,
a bit of hints on
it's
it.
a comedy.
But it's funny.
It's a comedy, supernatural. It's not a comedy horror. So yeah, feel free. Let the kids watch it. It is fun. There's no sacrilegious stuff in it for some of you religious nuts out there. Whatever. It's good fun. Okay.
Anyway, that's about it for us tonight. So thanks for watching this latest episode. And this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying we'll see you guys for our next podcast. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.